cool. Well, welcome everybody to episode 7 of the Guardians podcast. I am your host, as always, Veritech, joined here by my lovely co-host, Azax and One Eye, and our new co-host, Tifa.
Hi.
Hi. So, that being said, Tifa, go ahead and give us a little bit of your background. Joined here by my lovely co-host, Azax, hold on one second, and One Eye. All right, cool. There. Whoa,
Technical
all right.
issue.
All of a sudden, the stream kicked on, and it was full blast. All right, so Tifa, give us a little bit about your background. Who are you? What do you do? Like, why are you so awesome?
Okay, cool. So, I am a longtime gamer, of course. My first game I ever played on PC was probably like Ultima Online. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but that was way old school. Like,
Oh man,
I was
play Ultima Online.
yeah, when I was like 9 years old, guys, I was wrecking other kids, in Ultima Online. But right now, I work for Esports Arena. I'm their director of communications, so I do a lot of like promotion, writing for them, social media, and I also help out with events when I can. And yeah, it's a small company, so everyone who works there basically has like 10 jobs. So yeah, I have like 10 jobs. And I also play a lot of Overwatch. It's my go-to game right now, so I'm having fun with that.
Well, sweet. Well, we're lucky to have you on the podcast, and definitely looking forward to great things. The four of us working together. So, that being said, there's a new patch this week. Azax, One Eye. How you guys enjoying the changes? That new map hype, huh?
Oh man, that new map. You can go ahead though, Sean. I'll get into it here in a second. I know you have more to say about it than I do. I've only played it like twice.
Yeah, I pretty much played like twice, but what I did do is I immediately went in as like I saw the second control point, which has that big like this is Sparta pit in the middle, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do like a bot match with Lucio and see how many games I can knock the bots into the hole. That map it's so cool and fun. Just like the aesthetic is really nice. It's bright sunny day on a beautiful landscape, and it's really fucking cool. I love seeing new control maps.
I really like the design of it. One thing I like about it compared to the other two, not so much Nepal, but more so the other one, Lijiang. It feels really open. It doesn't feel as like funneled and choked. Like it actually feels like an arena, like sort of a pit fight. Like I want to say it's control point 3 that's in like the excavation pit. It's awesome. It's like everything I like about point 3 on Nepal, but without so many free ledge kills. You know what I mean? So I really like it because besides the fact that I think the level design on it's absolutely fantastic, I really like the art direction too. Like compared to the other levels, it feels really vibrant. They use a lot of yellows, a lot of blues. It's really bright. And I was even when me and Veritech saw it the first time he was streaming, I even mentioned, in all honesty, it reminded me a lot of the CS:GO maps because it just felt so bright and like actually out there. So I love the new map. It's so fun. It's good.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tifa, you've had a lot of experience on it too in the last few days. I know I've only played it once or twice because I've been streaming the Division or attempting to. But I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
So point 3 is by far my favorite on that map too. I just love the style of it, and it just feels it's like a longer map, and it's it's just very different from the first and second points, where are basically like flanker heaven. There's tons of like rooms and little corridors and streets that you could go through on those maps on the point 1 and point 2. So it's really good for like Reaper and like McCree and stuff like that. But
Genji too. Genji's ruthless on it.
Genji is so good on those maps too. But point 3, like you said, is like a lot more open, so it feels like totally different from the other 2 points, which is why I like it. But then, so it's interesting because the first point is actually based off of a place called Santorini in Greece. It's like a real life place, but they paint all of their roofs blue. So it looks exactly like Ilios in Overwatch.
When I first saw Ilios, I was like, oh my god, I've seen this place on like pictures, or I think even Call of Duty made a map based off this kind of location. It's just like, I love that they put it in a game and that they're getting a little more weird with their maps. A little more worldly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me because I used to be in the military and my last duty station was in Spain, and as soon as we loaded in, I went, holy crap, it's the Mediterranean. Like this is one of those coastal villages we used
It
to go.
looks exactly like it. Like I've spent some time in Greece. I've gone to Europe a few times now, and like, it's uncanny. It's great. It feels really alive. It's sort of like the little change they did to New Bombi. How they said that they wanted to make the city feel more populated, and by that I maintain they just put a background on the level.
Pretty
It's like they
much.
forgot to load one in. But like just having all the cities and buildings and like parks in the background, like it feels so great. It looks like a little oasis in the savannah. I love how the levels are coming along.
Yeah,
They're starting to really get the identity of the countries they're supposed to represent.
for sure.
What I like is behind it, there's like a giant like statue, like the Colossus of Rhodes kind of thing in the background, and it's got like a futuristic, what do they call it, a cruise ship in the background as well. They definitely put some flavor in there.
Yeah, it feels really good. Feels really good. But without getting like super too into it, we'll go ahead and cover the pre-patch notes announcements. The biggest one for those of you who can't get access or don't have access yet, the game is launching May 24th. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be an open beta from the 5th to the 9th of May for all platforms, not just PC. And if you pre-order it, you actually get early access a couple days before that. And you and a friend will actually get that access starting 2 days prior to that on the 3rd of May. And I know that everyone's getting super hyped because now there's like a reason to pre-order, I guess. You know, not only do you get those pre-order bonuses for the Origins Edition, but you know, you're able to play 2 days early, and 2 days in Overwatch time, that's like, you know, an extra 20 or 25 matches if you're playing just a few hours each day. But that's pretty hype that came out, and unfortunately it got leaked through a third-party site. But you know, Blizzard came out and went, "Yep, that's the date." So now you guys can get excited.
Yep.
It's
Confirmed.
IGN. They launched their AdSense like 8 hours too early and unfortunate, but it's released. We got the information out, and I'm really excited. Like as you said, we do now finally have a reason to pre-order it. If we're like people like us who are in the beta right now, we do not get access from the 3rd to the 5th unless we pre-order as well. So even we have an incentive to buy the pre-order the game as well.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, here's a date, and everyone goes, "Oh my God, it's finally official." So I mean, it's, you know, it's nice and
It's happening.
it's happening. You know, time to stop being thirsty. We're getting a drink. You know, it's like one of those awesome little things where it's just like, oh, by the way, you know, it's coming out now. But you know, and then if you already have pre-ordered the game physically, you know, the physical copy, I know a lot of people did that. You know, to get like the collector's edition and stuff. But, you know, contact your local retailers, and they'll be able to provide you with you know, with your early access code. So definitely hype. Definitely the wait is almost over. Only 7 more weeks until you know, it opens up to pretty much everybody. And then for 2 weeks it'll shut down. So we will go through withdrawals just like everyone else who hasn't been able to play. So that's pretty awesome. And then the other thing that came out, if you've pre-ordered the Origins Edition, you will get Tracer for free in Heroes of the Storm, and she is supposed to be released into the game sometime in April. And we'll kind of do a little rundown on her abilities in Heroes. Not much, just because, you know, this isn't a Heroes podcast, but she's pretty awesome in the game. So that's also happening. But you know, we'll go ahead and cover Tracer right now, just a little bit. I mean, you know, Azax, if you want to go over that, because you talk a lot better than I do.
Well, Game Informer released an article this week explaining Tracer and Heroes of the Storm, and we're all very big Heroes of the Storm fans. We all play it. Like I play pretty much 2 games, Heroes and Overwatch. So the fact that she's in Heroes and actually in April, so earlier than I expected, is really awesome. She's very much the Tracer that is in Overwatch. She does not have mana like most every other hero. She has an ammo and reload mechanic, which we haven't seen how that works yet, but we just read through the article. And she can also shoot while she's on the move, and that's definitely going to be a harassing, fun little thing. For her ability, she retains her 3 blinks like she has in Overwatch, and she also has her rewind, which rewinds her back 3 seconds. Just gonna say, I can't.
Yeah, it sounds so crazy. Like
She's
So
gonna be
OP.
so annoying.
The attack moving, I think, is what really makes it. Like, as somebody who mains, a lot of warriors and a lot of support, somebody who's able to, like, harass while still being mobile is just such a pain to look at. I mean, like, look at Zagara. She's an absolute nightmare. So, Tracer's just going to dominate a lot of lanes really ruthlessly.
Yeah, and she's probably going to be about as annoying in Heroes as she is in Overwatch. I mean, and the fact that you get your Pulse Bomb at level 1, like, what? I mean, yeah, you can upgrade it at level 10, but it's like, I guarantee you she's going to have a place in the game, and people might cry that she's overpowered just because if you have a high skill level in the game, you're going to be able to play her, and I'm sure she's going to be nearly as fast as she is in Overwatch, zipping around the map.
Oh yeah, she has to be.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a ton of fun to play her, and so she's coming into Heroes. We're not quite sure when in April. We just know in April. There was an article that was
Soon,
released.
TM.
Yeah, soon. TM.
It'll probably be sometime like after April 20th, just because they have Heroes of the Dorm, and then of course they have Asmodunk coming out after that.
Asmodunk, yep. So she's definitely going to be in the game. But that was the other kind of handcuffed announcement that went with the official release date that came out. So that's covered. Let's get into some blue posts. Jeff Kaplan, the lead designer, once again, he went around making a bunch of posts. This guy is super active in the community. Like, if you want any indication whether or not Overwatch is going to be good and you can't play the game, it's definitely a good sign when the developers and the community managers are super engaged. And Jeff Kaplan takes time almost daily to respond on the official Overwatch forums. And he's even responded once or twice on the Reddit subreddit. Like, this guy is super active. And he's come out and said, the skirmish idea where you're waiting to join a match, it was born from the days when they really didn't have that many people playing. And so they were waiting for people to load in. It kind of gave you an idea to try and dink around with characters if you didn't really know how to play Tracer, or you kind of wanted to. What I use skirmishes for is I'll hop on like Pharah or Widowmaker or Hanzo and just
playing Widowmaker ever?
Yeah. If you never play Widowmaker, you get to play her in skirmishes and just zipline all over the map. And I try and find nooks and crannies and ways to kind of get around points and payloads. And so he said they're going to keep it around, but they're going to add an option where you can actually just skip it, and it's just going to be easier for you to not jump from one skirmish to another while you're trying to find a match. So that's gonna be kind of cool. And then they're also toying around with the ability to add kind of the same mode as what is in Hearthstone with the Tavern Brawl, and that would be kind of awesome. I mean,
I am all for it. I know that I'm kind of like our resident MOBA addict, and one of the things I really enjoy about Smite and what they do is they do something like that. They have a game mode of the day that randomly rotates and shuffles through with random rules, and seeing that in Overwatch would be great. Like all 10 Winston day. Oh man, could you imagine that? Oh, it'd be ruthless. Or some sort of like Mercy Lucio only, something like that. Oh, it'd be great. I would totally play that. I think it would be a really fun addition. It would keep the game fresh too.
I know I've talked about before on previous episodes about like my friend group, and now we do these crazy custom games and whatnot, and that's pretty much what this person on the forum is asking. So like, can we have like a game of like a random like weekly or daily reset of like crazy new rules? And Jeff Hamill's just like, yep, would be cool. I'm like, it could be a long, humongous post, which is what he's done this week about both skirmish and matchmaking. Or it could just be would be cool. He's responding and open and honest, and I just love how interactive Jeff Kaplan's being and transparent.
Yeah, for sure. And then he also came out and said that there is an issue with people joining matches late. Like they'll join a match 8 seconds before a loss, and then it's just like now your win-loss ratio is all screwed up. And so he said joining a match late won't count towards your win-loss ratio. So if your team is stomping and you jump in and it's not going to be a loss, and if you're getting stomped, don't worry, it's kind of a wash. It won't count against you. You'll just jump in officially, quote unquote, on the statistics with your next match in that lobby. And then there's also kind of some MMR changes with if you've been losing too much, you're on a massive losing streak. It's going to try and shuffle up your lobby and try and find some other players that are more towards your skill level, so you're not getting absolutely curb stomped. I don't think any of us really have had major losing streaks that are on the podcast. I mean, we're all pretty active with the game. We really try and...
I kind of have.
Wow. We had that one day too, right after they did the EU Asia wave. where we got that. That was kind of a rough day too. If you remember that one on stream, that one's probably recorded. I've seen it happen.
Oh
So.
yeah, the one with Conchu. I think we
I
had
like I like specifically even remember saying, "Oh man, we need to leave this lobby." Oh look, it put us in a new one. Like
we're losing
so-
again. Yay! Yeah, but it doesn't happen very often. But it
No,
is nice.
not
It is
often,
nice
but
for those people who are just playing Overwatch to have fun. They're not really good at FPSs. They're playing with friends. It's a colorful game. You know, there's a lot of fun characters, a lot of fun backstory. But you suck at the game. Well, now you're gonna play with other people that suck, and you're gonna have fun. So, you know that's kind of cool. And then the team is also going to look at the groups and how groups of players are matched up. You know, they want to make sure that they encourage the grouping and don't discourage it because people like to play together. I mean, Overwatch is one of those games where, you know, you hop on with a few friends. I know One Eye and I almost always, whenever I'm streaming, we are always party together. We know we've got Conchu and Azax has jumped in with us every now and then. And they don't want to punish people who like to play with their friends. You know, so for sure, definitely some good changes that Kaplan came out and announced in some blue posts. So, with that being said, the meat and potatoes. We are going to go ahead and cover the new patch, and then we'll probably end with some competitive news. Last week we did competitive first, and then did the patch. But I mean, other than the new map, there was some tweaks and some balance changes, but it wasn't like huge, hard-hitting patch stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll close out with competitive stuff. So this patch, obviously, we said the new map, Ilios. Beautiful map. For those of you who are able to play the game or are able to watch streams, this map probably right now is my favorite. You load in and it's just like, you know, you just want to go hit up the bar on the beach and get a Mai Tai or something because it's one of those where it's absolutely amazing. And
it's really well executed, like the
Yeah.
entire concept. It's one of those things where you see it and it's like game design, visual design, and audio design like coming together. It's just a joy to play on. Gorgeous, yeah.
Gorgeous, yeah. So I mean, and yeah, I do like just to go back again and kind of add my 2 cents. That third control point, since it is kind of a king of the hill map, it feels like a meat grinder, and those are the kind of games that I love, where you just kind of throw each other together and just smash your faces against one another and see who comes out, you know, without knocking each other out. I had a blast playing on Reaper. I had a blast playing on Pharah. Like it's just one of those maps where no matter what round you're in, it's just an absolute bloodbath at times, and I think it kind of shakes it up a little bit, so it's not like, you know, it's not like Lijiang where you can just knock people off the ledge. You know, it's just it's constant action, and I absolutely love it.
On the topic of Ilios and control maps, I did forget to include one thing in the show notes, and that was someone made a thread asking about if we could get randomized control points. And Jeff Kaplan did respond to that it could be coming in a future beta build. We'll try it out where like you can start with 3 and then move on to 1 and then get 2, etc. So I think
that would be cool.
Yeah. How you guys feel about that? Just like, I think that's the best option because I get bored just doing the same points in order, and I would like to mix it up a little bit. I think that would help the flow of the maps and help the variety of gameplay.
The only issue I see with that, and this could be like a completely personal opinion, but I feel like on all of the control point maps, the third point is the best one. Like, I feel like, I mean, maybe not Lijiang, actually thinking about it, just because...
I hate Lijiang's third point.
Yeah, the server room's not really that much fun. That's not.
No, it's
not.
not.
a good time.
Not at
But
all.
like point 3 on Nepal is just, oh man, that is a work of art. And then like the excavation pit and Ilios, like it would be good because we'd get to see them mixed up. But I feel like also part of the reason they have them laid out like that is because if they want it to feel really special if you get to the third, you know what I mean? But if the choice was, you know, having a cool feeling getting to round 3 or just seeing round 3 mixed in, I'd rather have it mixed in.
I'll say this, like, I'm actually of I don't like Nepal's third point that much. I think I'm just getting a little wary on all these points having areas and get knocked off cliffs. So it's just like another one. It's like, if I go to that point, there's going to be 3 Winstons, and I'm going to go flying unless I hide in that little cliff.
It's like Winston, Pharah, Lucio, and Diva are so good on the maps with like pits. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone plays him.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I love that third control point on Nepal because I do play Lucio, I do play Winston, I do play Junkrat. I mean, I love to just watch people fly off and be like, "See ya." Like, I'll sit there, I'll sit there and watch them go over the like. People have commented like, I'll go up to the ledge and just watch them fall. Like, I'm watching you die to your death. Or fall to your death. I do like it. But kind of mixing it up a little bit would kind of shake it up so that you're not stuck in, all right, on this point we have to run this comp. On this point I have to run this. Okay, well, now we're in the server room. Well, now we need this comp, like, because there's no pits, so we can't just like cheese somebody off the ledge. Like, shaking it up would be nice, and starting with the new control map would be awesome. That way you don't get stuck in the same patterns over and over, and it kind of gives you a little bit more variety.
Whenever they do implement that, I do hope they keep it. Just because, not only that, I would like to see future control maps have more than 3 points. They just mix it up even more.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That way you can have like 5 points, and you get 3 out of the 5, and you don't know what they are until you load in. And so that would be cool. But it's a gorgeous map. I really hope that I get to play it more because I didn't play it enough this week. So next week's streams, really hope I get to play it. But it's definitely Blizzard team, the Overwatch team is really putting some effort into adding not just content to add content. They're putting a lot of good thought behind it. And then also they came with the patch. The career profile has been reset. All statistics and personal records have been reset, but your progress and your matchmaking was the same. And the biggest change to that is now your level is orange on the character screen. So cool.
Which was very weird for me.
Yeah.
I'm a strange type of colorblind where I don't see a lot of shades and hues. So like blue orange is what most games colorblind modes run in, and just seeing like the bright orange under the blue emblem, I was like, whoa! Like it was one of the first things I noticed in the patch. And I remember when I mentioned to you when we were streaming, you were like, oh, hey, look at that! It is orange. Like
yeah, because I normally look at names before I look at levels, and you're like, our levels are orange. I'm like, they are. They used to be blue. Okay, cool. Like, all right,
yeah.
Sweet. But yeah. So the career profile got reset. New sprays and the progression changes got added, and then all heroes have basic emotes. So you're not going to be stuck with, oh crap, I've never played this character. I played him once. I have an emote. Awesome. Like everybody has a base emote. So
Can
you're
I
able.
just say these new emotes are fucking amazing. And that's not fun considering May got 3 of them, but just like Diva now has this bunny emote in her suit, and it's the most.
The bunny hop is so cute because
Yeah,
it's the
it's
bunny
so cute.
robot. Yeah, it's just everything. Diva, all of her cosmetic stuff is just awesome. All of her
Yeah.
emotes, all of her highlight intros. Like, I remember when I was at BlizzCon and they announced that they were going to do her, I was like, well, I hope that they do her well because they're being pretty risky adding like a real world competitive gamer into a video game. And she is amazing. Everything about Diva is just so fantastic. You can feel the love in her like character. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
This little cheer emote with the robot with their guns going wee wee wee. It's like, oh my god, it's so adorable for a fucking mech robot.
Yeah. Sorry.
Then May just
God dang it.
They need to give a legendary skin to Diva. I can't wait for them.
Oh,
to
yeah,
release
yes.
one.
I can't wait to see what they do. Part of me
Yeah.
wants it to be really terrifying and have it be a real rabbit, like her crawling out of like a real
She's
rabbit.
in the rabbit's mouth or something.
Yeah, like, just like
whatever it
whatever
is,
they end up doing with her will be really good, I'm sure.
just to change up her mech. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have some new emotes for Bastion, and one where he's like doing the robot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that one's
oh,
really
boy.
cool.
Yep.
So I've seen most of the emotes, and I would say the worst one that exists is Hanzo's. He just like stands up, and then he goes back to like his position with the arrow. It's like really like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, he brushes his shoulder. That's
Blade.
such emote.
Yeah. So I mean that's cool,
Pretty
and just adding that basic fan service, because some people they're like whatever emotes, what's that, like cool, but then people like me who like to abuse the crap out of the social wheel and spam whatever I can. I'm one of those guys where if I get a triple or a quadra kill, I want to spam my emote as quickly as I can to try and get it in case it's the play of the game. That way it's like the tail end. So it's fun for me to have an emote on any character, especially one I don't normally play, and if I get lucky. So they went ahead and added those, and then they also changed health pack placements on some mats, most notably Temple of Anubis. The biggest complaint people had was that second point for the attacking / defending team. If you were able to push in through that, the main archway, there was a giant health pack, that healed you almost all the way up to full if you weren't a tank. They went ahead and changed that to a small health pack. They changed some.
Okay.
Yeah, they added some big health packs instead of small health packs. They knocked the wall down on the left-hand side of
they added
Temple of
an
Anubis.
entire new alley,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Yeah.
Like for those of you who haven't played it, on any sort of control point where it's literally like one big central choke and then a small choke on the side, like that's what Anubis was. It was literally just two grinding hallways. That's it.
Yeah.
And so for like them to add just a whole new way on the other side to like sneak in
Yeah.
and get around, especially because it connects to the pathway on that map that loops under the main entrance.
Yeah.
So like it adds for flanking characters like Reaper and things like that. It gives them a much stronger chance on the second point. It doesn't sound like knocking down a wall is that huge of a change, but in the way it actually plays in the game, it's massive.
Anubis needed. I feel like that choke point's always been a pain in the ass, and there's always just been the two ways. And that main point, it's big enough now. Looking at it, it's like you didn't really know what was coming through the other side most of the time because it was so small. And now it's so wide. Just defending's also a bit easier just because you know it's coming. Obviously, you have to be watching the right side now, but you were kind of doing that anyway for half the heroes at least. A lot of heroes had a way to get around it. So
Yeah.
just the changes will be make attacking a lot easier on a map that probably needed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then let's see here. Let's see if we covered everything. The health packs, Numbani, like one I said, they went ahead and added a background. They made it look more lived in, because otherwise it just kind of felt like this random map was just plopped down. Hey, look, it's a city with a tram moving above you. Isn't it cool? But then you look out the window, at the spawn points, and you're like, there's nothing out there. Like,
It's like the African safari.
yeah.
Yeah, like you really didn't notice until they changed it, but it seriously is like they're like, oh man, we forgot to put the background in. Like,
So the entire point of Numbani that I read is like the whole point of the map is like like post evacuation of like a disaster zone, and it's clean. There's nothing different about it. It just looks like an empty city, and so they said we're gonna make changes to make it more lived in. So I get it. It's like I feel like you just changed the lighting and changed the color of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, before it was like all orange. It had like orange,
Yeah.
hazy. Now it's more of like more colors, a little more cooler colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then they went ahead and changed the play modes, play versus AI. Now you can pick what level of AI you want to play against. I've never played versus AI, so I don't know how easy or hard it was playing against them. But they went ahead and did that because I know that I do have some friends that they're like, is there a way just to play against computers? Because I suck at FPSs, but I want to have fun. So they went ahead and did that. So there's now an easy, and medium, and a hard difficulty setting in the play modes. And then they also added the ability to invite players to custom games via battle tag. That's fun if you want to do like random ARAM characters where you just meet in the middle. You totally ignore the objectives and you just slaughter each other for the heck of it. You'd be able to do that. And then also if you're on a competitive team, it's a lot easier to add people and add subs via their battle tag. And then I guess there was also something, like I said, I don't really play AI, so I didn't know this, but I guess there was no Zarya or Roadhog as AI opponents, and they went ahead and added that. So, cool, good job.
AI, it'd be the same heroes pretty much every time, and sometimes it'd be like you knew you're gonna get two bastions on the opposing team every single time, so it's just kind of obnoxious. And the AI, they pretty much 100% know exactly where you are at all times, so it can
Once
make it. What was that?
Once you come into their line of sight, they basically start attacking you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit obnoxious at times, but the changes will be better. Just add more heroes, add more flavor, so the people who do play exclusively AI against them will have more of a different experience than the same people every time.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. And then for character balance changes, because I'm leaving out the one that we're gonna kind of gush over a little bit. I think more than the balance changes because these weren't that big. Junkrat's Riptire, his ultimate, the charge cost was increased by 25%. Big
Because
deal.
it was pretty crazy. It
Yeah.
was charging so fast. Like I remember one round I counted it. I saw a Riptire within the first 25 seconds. Like that's absolutely absurd. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it was on which one? Dorado. So it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is gonna be great. Like,
Yeah, so I mean, they went ahead and increased the charge cost by 25%. They did the same thing for Lucio, so now his sound barrier, it charges 25% slower. People were having an issue with him always having it up. I always have it up anyways because I'm probably one of the most aggressive Lucio players I know.
Yeah.
So I always have a sound barrier anyways. I didn't really notice that big of a difference. They did change Lucio's health back to 200 hit points, so now I could be a frontline support again. Huzzah. Awesome to
which,
that.
out of curiosity, did you feel that at all? Because, and like, this could have just been me and maybe how I play Lucio, even though I felt like I was fairly aggressive, but honestly, I never noticed the health change. It's one of those things that, like, sort of the logic behind I didn't feel the Genji health change is like, the only real difference was headshots. Like, I never really noticed the nerf. I don't know if you did.
I think that was the only time I noticed it because I didn't really notice the 200 to 150 back to 200. Like it didn't change how I played him. It changed how often I played him. I started to pick up Mercy when he got nerfed to 150 health, and that's only because I started running into some really good Widowmakers, and my head was a target. So now, I could play aggressive again. It didn't really change how I played, but to kind of make him a little less efficient at being a frontline damage dealer with this like super amazing ulti, they did nerf his damage by 20%, and then the projectile size on his main fire was reduced slightly.
And this is all fine. Like I love Lucio. He's probably the only healer I like to play right now. I'll play a little bit Zenyatta, but it's mostly Lucio. And just the health nerf reassures me that I'm not going to get sniped in the head by Widowmaker or one shot. And then I'm willing to trade that for taking a damage nerf because there were times when I was probably doing too much damage as Lucio and being too strong at all the different things I had. So I tested it out. I like the changes. I mean, his weapon it's still a plasma gun. It's just now slightly harder to use, and that's fine. Just people have to practice more with it and with the projectile size, but he's still going to be very, very strong. And the reverting the health nerf will definitely just make him stick a bit more, which is what I feel like he should be doing. Mercy gets popped, but she also has fucking Guardian Angel. She can just fly across the map. Lucio, he's gonna be more in the front lines fighting with people, especially because like he AoE heals, so it has to be in the thick of things to maximize the amount of people he heals and the people he drops the beat on.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't personally really notice the damage change because I didn't pick up a ton of kills on Lucio anyways. I've always played Lucio as I want him to be disruptive. I want the focus to be on them attacking me rather than the damage dealers. And I'm actually, I've downloaded one of our streams from earlier in the week, and I'm actually going to upload a highlight clip here later onto my channel where I was essentially 1v4ing on Lucio and just ducking and dodging damage, holding
the 98% of the match on fire.
Yeah, holding. I ended up getting play of the game for that match because it was like I wasn't taking damage because I was just zipping around, like giving people. It's going to be like they're on a roller coaster ride, but that's how I play Lucio. So the fact that he nerfed his damage, cool. I mean, I don't really play him to pick up kills, but they gave him his 50 extra health. I guess I have noticed it because I don't die as quickly in those situations, but I'm all for these balance changes. Like it doesn't feel like they're crippling any character. It doesn't feel like they're making any character overpowered.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but we'll get on that in a minute.
Well, we're not going to cover her because she sucks. No, I'm kidding. And then Mei had some changes. Her endothermic blaster, her alt fire, her right mouse button fire. The projectile speed increased by 50%. It was completely unnecessary. She's broken. Please nerf. And then the fire rate was increased by 25%, and the ammunition cost on it was reduced from 40 to 25. Why?
I'll admit that the May buffs are surprising. I don't think I heard anybody in the beta being like, May's underpowered. I'm pretty sure I heard everyone being like, May is pretty balanced and very frustrating to play against. And so their reaction was to, I guess, just buff her. Why not? Sure, make her even harder to deal with.
Yeah.
Not only did they increase the rate of fire of which her right click goes off, they increased the speed of that projectile. So now she's just like a machine gun with the icicle. It's like, oh my god, I used to be a sniper with this thing. Now I just don't care. I'm just a sniper, or not sniper, like a machine gun. Just she's got
she
so
wrecks
much more.
Bastion now. It's so funny because you just
God.
set up the wall, and then the second it drops, you just hit him with 2 headshots in like half a second. And it's a dead robo. Like,
Yeah. And let me just say, from the first time I ever saw May at BlizzCon, when I was playing last year, until now, I hate her. Like I don't hate many things in life. I hate seeing a May, and it's because I'm not good on her, and everyone I always goes up against on May absolutely wrecks me. So why do you need to buff her? Like she's an environmentalist. Like she's
Because
probably
a lot of people considered her a niche pick.
she's probably
Yeah.
a pacifist. Like why make her
I actually
deadlier?
think that the buffs were kind of warranted and that they were needed, just because she wasn't really played at all in the competitive side of things.
this is true.
And yeah, and she right now she's really good on King of the Hill maps. Like she's so good. Her ice wall is amazing, and her blizzard is so good. But other than that, she was like never really played because she didn't do enough damage, and there were just so many better options than her.
Yeah.
She couldn't like flank well. She had no mobility, and she didn't do enough damage to make up for it long range. So I think that's why they decided to like increase her right click to help her out because she couldn't like get to places. So and basically they wanted to give her another option.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
She definitely felt like a hero I would play on certain maps just because she was so good at controlling. And then if I could do also that control, her right click felt like just like a snipe. So she wasn't something I was going to play on every single map that had maybe more close quarters combat or just where you would want someone who's really in the thick of things. And now she's just like all around pretty fucking good. Whatever
Yeah.
map you play.
She's super good pub stomper now. She's really good
Yeah.
against just in quick play. In terms of like team comps and like competitive, I guess is something that we'll get to see this weekend. So I'm super excited about that. But if
I would
people
love to
actually
see
pick
too.
her,
She has a lot of
Yeah.
potential. It's sort of like how we're kind of starting to see Symmetra and Zenyatta a little bit more. People are finally starting to move away from, what were considered niche picks are now becoming more mainstream. I would absolutely love a competitive meta where we see a couple Mays in a match. That would be great. One of the things I really like about this game is the fact that the whole concept of it's in the future. These are all people from actual countries, and they all speak like their native languages and things like that. Like I just love May's presentation, like the way she talks and the way she sounds and the way she interacts with the game. So I want to see her more just because I'm a little bit of a fanboy. So
Yeah.
I'm all for the buffs.
And then the other minor changes before we get into the big thing, and I'm apologizing in advance to our viewers because I'm going to have to do this on the fly, but I'm going to show the video. I don't have it set up. But the other minor changes are, which actually were kind of jarring to me, they put Lucio's old voiceover back. So now when he breaks it down, he breaks it down, like with the original, like the OG voice guy.
No,
And
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the, everybody was clamoring they wanted the Japanese one because, drop of the Bito. I mean, like, that's kind of epic. But, and then the other one that was really jarring was they changed Mercy, so now she speaks German as well. I kind of like, I had to stop in one of my streams this week, and one I kind of chuckled because I was like, wait, is she speaking German? Like, what is going, like, she never did that before. But, so they went ahead and kind of, recast her, so now she speaks English and German and not how she used to speak. And they also kind of softened up her accent when she's speaking English, so it's not such a hard European accent now. But
This really caused a little bit of controversy when it came out.
A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like it either. And then you have people who are like, I'm from where Mercy's supposed to be from, and we don't speak German. What are you doing? Please stop.
Yeah. So I mean those were some other minor changes. That happened. Getting into the thing that everybody was kind of flipping out about and everybody was excited. They added some new legendary skins.
Yeah, boy, I was wondering when we were gonna get into
We're gonna
this.
get into that
I am
right now.
prepared.
And
My
and
body
I
is ready.
yeah, and I apologize to the viewers. I have to do this on the fly. But I'm gonna go ahead and screen cap the video. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and screen cap the video. So we're gonna go ahead and get started talking about this. There are some new legendary skins, starting with Bastion. Has 2 different legendary skins now. He's got
amazing.
yeah, they're amazing. He's got his steam bot and his wooden. His wooden one looks amazing.
He has a pigeon.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
mean,
what?
yeah,
The wooden one is a woodpecker. How cool is that?
yeah.
It's a woodpecker, and then the steampunk
It's a
one's a
pigeon.
pigeon. What I really want to see is because they executed them so well. Because I mean, they're amazing. Like especially the steampunk one. Like they are really impressive. I would love to see like a sci-fi futuresque one now coming.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like a real like laser gatling sort of like super futuristic robo thing. I don't know what kind of bird they would use for it, but I like how they're doing that with the legendary skins. How they're changing the bird and running with it. Like it was funny because in my head I was like, well, I don't really know what they're going to do with Bastion skins, you know what I mean? Like, he's a robot that turns into a turret. Where do you go with that? And then seeing the wooden and steampunk ones in game, like, my jaw literally hit the floor. It was like the first time I saw the Roadhog skins. I was like, wow, these are so well thought out and executed. This is fantastic. It completely changes the identity of the character. Like,
Yeah, and
It's good.
they put so much detail into it. So Bastion got his wooden and his steampunk. Lucio finally got a legendary skin, so now he's got this space frog skin. Like, it's like, what is that? Like, I would love to see some skin tints added to it just because it's gray. But I mean,
Yeah.
now he's finally got a skin. Like, I've been whining and complaining for weeks now that Lucio had no good alternatives. Like, you either played Lucio or you played Lucio with a different color visor. Like, boo-hoo, whatever. So now he's a giant space frog.
Now, here's the thing I didn't understand. I didn't understand the skin until yesterday when someone told me it's Dead Mouse, but as a
Yeah.
space frog. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
pretty
oh
much.
my
It's
god,
a
yes.
frog head instead of a mouse
Yeah.
head. Yeah.
And I heard it changes colors with whatever buff you're using, too.
Hmm.
I haven't actually seen it in game, so I can't comment. But that if it is, nice touch, Blizzard. Good
Yeah.
polish.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. They added a Mystery Man McCree.
Oh
which
my
is-
god.
Oh,
Okay,
that
no,
looks cool.
hold on. I'm gonna geek out on this for a second because I love this skin, and the reason why is one of my absolute favorite westerns of all time is For a Few Dollars More, right? And in A Few Dollars More, the main 2 characters in it are Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef, and the skin looks almost exactly like Lee Van Cleef in A Few Dollars More. And it like I love the movie, I love his character, and the second I saw that skin, I was so happy. I swear I was dancing around. It is so good for anybody that loves really classic westerns. I love how it's executed. It's really subtle. It's just I could gush about it. It's one of those skins that I wasn't expecting to love as much as I did, and then I saw it in game.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good. If I get better at McCree, maybe I'll end up picking it up because these skins are 1,000 credits, and you don't
Yeah.
build credits incredibly fast. But Farah got a new skin, which is Raptorian, which I think looks amazing. Like, I liked her black skin before, her ebony onyx skin, but this Raptorian skin is probably my favorite Farah skin that she's got right now. Like, it was done really well, and I love it.
It reminds me of Gundam.
Yeah.
Like her
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah. her
Definitely what they're
helmet.
aiming for here.
It looks a lot like Gundam, and it is juicy and delicious.
Yeah. Have you seen
I'm
her
just-
eyes though? What's up with her eyes?
No, I haven't actually seen it in game, so I haven't paid attention to any of the details that much. But
yeah.
Like a
Her
bright
eyes
yellow?
look kind of yeah.
It's like raptor eyes, I guess.
Yeah,
But it looks
Oh.
weird to me. But that's my only gripe with it. Otherwise, it looks awesome.
yeah. And then
That's-
Reinhardt with his epic Lionheart skin.
Oh yeah.
which is so good too, because I always thought it was confusing because the Budweiser skin, which is the one where he doesn't wear the helmet, was an epic and not a legendary.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised this isn't a legendary. This is like a really cool skin. I'm really into it. And then they're like, oh, that's just because we have the legendary without a helmet coming soon. And it's just like super big and flashy and gaudy and has like a big ass purple cape and like the gauntlets and the hammer of claws all over it. It is so good. Like, as if Reinhardt already wasn't intimidating and attention grabbing enough. Like, he really just, like, you see the skin and it steals the show.
Yeah. I have the Bunta skin for Reinhardt. It's the only one I have, and I bought that with credits because it's like I loved the way that looked. And then Lionheart came out, and it's like, well, Bunta you used to be my bae, but I have a new sugar skin, and so I'm saving up. Probably if I don't get it in a loot crate, I'm probably going to buy it. But it's by far, in my opinion, his best looking skin. Other than his black skin with the battle axe, Lionheart I think kind of takes the cake for me, just because of the absolute gaudiness of it. I mean, it just looks so amazing.
Something that really strikes a chord with me here in a good way is like in World of Warcraft and the new expansion Legion, they're adding in as one of the, I think it's the Holy Paladin weapons, a Warcraft version of Reinhardt's hammer. So they have that coming out, and then they're like, this pretty much reminds me of a paladin, more like an alliance paladin, obviously, but just like he's got the cape, he's got the shining gold lions. It's pretty much paladin Reinhardt, and I love that little kind of connected feel, and just God, it's so fucking cool. He's got claws on his gauntlets, and just
Yeah.
I wanted Bloodheart, but now I just want Lionheart so bad.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it looks good. And then the other one that people were kind of having fun with was Spirit of 76, Soldier 76's skin that was straight out of Evil Knievel's
Yeah,
outfit.
Evil Call of Duty. It is, once again, just good capes this patch all around.
Very, like, A+, 10 out of 10 on those capes. It's one of those, like, it's that spirit of America. Like, Blizzard is an American company. This is Evil Knievel, one of the most American guys. Daredevil, like, it's strictly, like, straight with that hair and that stash. Like, it's completely epic for that 1970s, feel. And it makes, I haven't played with that skin, but I know if and when I get it, it's probably going to make me even more Daredevil-esque when I play Soldier 76, because I mean it's so cheesy and awesome. Like, Blizzard really, like, when they threw this at us, it's like, wow, like this is some awesome skins. Like, I didn't even really know what to say. Like, my jaw hit the floor with what they added.
Now, I will say these skins have not come without complaints. There are people complaining that, especially with the 76 ones, like, you won't be able to tell who this hero is. And I feel like with 76, you almost have a point. I mean, it's a little bit out there, especially with the big cape. They could probably make it a little bit smaller to kind of even up his silhouette, but just...
I can see people getting him confused for like McCree or something.
Yeah,
Especially
I can
like
see
because
that
he
for
has a mustache.
Yeah.
I guess, like, for me, it's just like, oh, look at this guy that I don't recognize what he looks like, but he's carrying an assault rifle, you know what I mean? Like, how many characters in the game are doing that, Or
Yeah.
it's like, oh, look at this guy, he's got a 6-shooter, you know what I mean? So, and it could also just be me, but I feel like the characters are really defined sort of by their weapons and their kits, not necessarily their visual look.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't necessarily feel it. But I can still understand the complaint.
If you don't like know who they are by getting shot by them, then or like by looking at them, you're gonna get shot by them, and you'll know who they are from that. So I understand the complaints, but these people are also like, can we disable the opponent from seeing the opponent's skins? I'm like, that's the entire point of skins. Especially in an FPS, you want people to see your skins. So I feel like it's not a problem for now. I just wanted to bring it up because it is something going around in the community, but I think all the new skins aren't really that much of an issue except for 76, but I really think they should just tone down this cape. But honestly, it's not that big of an issue.
He's bigger. Cape needs to be bigger. Huge. Absolutely. It needs to flip over his head, like when he's flying all over the place, when he pops his ulti, like, it needs to be huge. It needs to just wrap him like a blanket. No, whatever. It's a cape. If it needs to be smaller, that's cool.
They did add 4 other skins that I did not realize. They're put in the show notes. I apologize.
Mm-hmm. They added
added-
the Ifrit Zenyatta.
Which looks really good. I know it's
yeah.
just a red recolor of the legendary, but it looks
It's
really
so
good.
glowy and so cool. It's like, Dijinyata, move over. I need Ifrit now. It's so cool.
Yep. And then they added it was kind of a reskin to his raw look with the bird foot, but I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a different
Sunyata.
Sunyata. That's what it is. Yeah, that one looks good too. And then they added Symmetra skin as well, which you guys saw in the video that was playing just a few minutes ago. So they've definitely and this thing just dropped. Like there wasn't even really a leak. I guess
Nope.
it wasn't. It was just like, hey, there's a patch. Oh my God, look at all this stuff in the game. And then they're like, oh yeah, here's the patch notes. Have fun. Like it came out of nowhere, and everyone was just like dumbfounded with the detail of the new map, the detail of these skins, the fact that like Blizzard listened and they're like, oh, Lucio doesn't have a skin. Oh, you want this kind of skin. Well, McCree, if you didn't hate him enough in the double McCree setup, now he's got a new skin. Have fun with that. And it's awesome the amount of effort that Blizzard is putting into not only listening to the community and listening to the feedback, but then also adding things that look great and not just for the sake of adding things.
And now, Blizzard, I'm going to say this to you. If any of you are listening, please, legendary skins for Junkrat and Genji soon. And I know they're being worked on because there's a picture in one of the maps of the young Hanzo, which is already a skin in the game, next to young Genji. And Genji looks badass. And I need that skin now, please.
Yeah. I remember seeing that picture now in one of the screenshots that someone took.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. I mean, the guy used to be human. I mean, he is Hanzo's brother. Yeah, he's a cyborg now, but add his human form. That would be kind of cool to see. And he does. He looks sick. He's got that spiky blonde hair. He looks like that young, cocky guy that the lore talks about. So I would love to see that skin. I'm on board with that too. Like Blizzard, Blizzard Peace Bluff. If you're
Let's
listening.
be honest. If there's a Junkrat skin, that's probably going to be one of the craziest skins. I have no idea what they'll do for Junkrat. No idea.
Just make him like this morphing pile of ash. Like as he moves around the map, he's just like blah blah blah, and then if you kill him, he just turns into like the pile. It's like, hey, Junkrat's dead. I don't know, something. They'll come up with something, I'm sure. Blizzard always does, but it's gonna be that'll be a nut skin. That'll be a crazy skin. So that pretty much covers the big things in the patch. The biggest change of them all is they added a sound when you get a headshot, which, like, I was...
I had that sound before. They changed it so it's a little bit more noticeable.
Well, yeah.
I didn't even know until a week ago that there was a sound, like a different sound for that. And I was like, okay, now I hear it. I'm noticing a lot more. And they're like, oh yeah, we just changed the sound again.
Yep. Yeah, they made it more pronounced. And one I can tell you, the first time I heard that on stream, I was playing Lucio, and it was the second control point on Lijiang Tower, and I happened to just turn around and I nailed a Pharah in the face, and I heard this pink, and I'm like, oh my God, they changed the sound. Like, and then
I thought it was on the character first. You're like,
Yeah.
is this part of the skin or whatever?
Like, is this part of the skin?
Yeah,
And-
I think Nocturnal was in
Yeah.
Discord. He's like, no, dude, that's the headshot sound.
Yeah,
It's good.
and then it happened like 30 seconds later, and then I got addicted to doing nothing but getting headshots for the rest of the stream. I'm like, I must hear this ping. Like,
Yeah.
I must hear this. It's so amazing. And all they did was just made it louder. Like, I thought they added it, but it was already in the game. And now it's more pronounced, and to me, that's just like, every time I hear it, I just like have to giggle. It's like, I got a ping. Like, yeah, so, but it was a good patch. It was less about balance and more about, graphic awesomeness. And
Wait, we forgot the biggest thing about the patch.
what's that?
They buffed up Diva's defense matrix.
Oh
again.
yeah, they
It
increased the
wasn't
size
in the
of it.
patch notes.
They increased the size
But
of it. It
it's
was
bigger now.
undocumented
Yep.
change. Her defense matrix, when they changed the size of it and they lowered it, I didn't really see a difference. Granted, I didn't play Diva a ton, but I didn't really see that big of a difference as long as you were aiming at, the grouping. But to make it bigger, cool. I mean, it was an undocumented change. Yeah.
She felt a little bit weaker, and I think you're just slowly trying to tweak her up and get her back to a point where she's not a pain in the ass, but where she's still strong.
Yeah. So, I mean, Diva's cool. I can't really ever play her because how aggressive I am on my playstyle. I usually end up out of my mech and then as a casualty a few seconds later. But
Ice player is a backliner. That's basically what I do the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I only play her if there's another tank, and then I can just be the backlining tank. I'll smash you and ram you out of the way.
yeah,
I had a game the other day where I think I was playing against a Ivy Slime, I think it was, and just knocking him off the in the abyss on King's Row at the last point. So much fun with her.
yeah,
She's so good.
yeah. She's fun. I mean, I enjoy the character model. I know I got hyped when I saw her at the reveal on BlizzCon. She's just one of those where I have to sit down and I have to change my entire mindset when I get inside that mech because I can't. I'm so aggressive when I play. Like one I can tell you, I will take every opportunity to jump in on Winston. I will take every opportunity to charge somebody on Reinhardt. And then hey, I'm now in their back line and where's my team? Where's the support? Holy crap, my shield's dropping. Like that's how I play. You can't do that on Diva, but she's a good character, and increasing her defense matrix, the size of it, that was probably one of my favorite mechanics in the game. When they're like, hey, she has a defense matrix, I'm like, hey, that's freaking awesome. So, I'm definitely going to have to learn her, but, I didn't even, it wasn't even in the patch notes.
I'll teach you. I'll teach you.
You teach me, master. But, so I think that just about wraps it up for the patch notes. Moving on to what we all are interested in, at least on the podcast, is the competitive news. And for those of you who didn't know, Tifa is also a member of Team Husky, which is an all-female Overcast team.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It was. It was. I need to update my notes, but it was. But she is a member. Okay, I'll revive that. She is a member of Team Husky, which is a competitive Overwatch team that has a mixed gender roster. And so she is also really into the competitive scene. As you all know, One Eye and I are former competitive Heroes of the Storm player. Azax is a competitive junkie. He loves anything esports relating to Blizzard. He's huge into Heroes of the Storm. He's huge into Overwatch. Like we all watch the weekly, the weekly tournaments, the weekly events. For those of you who know me personally, which is a lot of you, but a lot of you don't watch, and you probably should. Shame on you. I am a huge Cloud9 fanboy. Cloud9 is now in.
It's bad, man. He's an addict.
I applied for a job with CLG. As they're like they needed an analyst for their league team, and I applied, but I think the reason why I wasn't hired is because I gushed on Cloud9, which oops, whatever. Like Cloud9's my organization. I love Cloud9. Jack, if you're watching, dude, please hire me. I bleed blue. But one of the biggest teams that we always cover in the last couple of weeks was Google Me. Well, now Google Me is Cloud9. So yay, that's awesome. And Cloud9 was also in a bidding war with another top European team, IDDQD. And unfortunately, IDDQD said, we're going to wait and see what happens. And Cloud9 said, okay, hey, Google me. Before they even finished the sentence, Google me was like, yes. So Cloud9 is now in Overwatch.
In that same report that said they were in a bidding war, they said they were in a bidding war with Team Liquid, but that they had also rejected CLG and Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm, I know, had been reported before was like lowballing teams, but it just goes to show like these are like 4 major organizations trying to get a top Overwatch team.
Yeah,
And
and
just-
it's in the beta.
Yeah, it's
It's
in the
crazy.
beta.
It's not out yet, guys. Like,
Yeah.
And
There's-
you know what? With how good IDDQD has been playing, I don't really blame them, but it's just like, okay, yeah, we rejected Tempo Storm and CLG, some of like the biggest esports organizations. Just like, my God, to have that kind of situation, I could just be like, I could be with CLG or Liquid or Cloud9. Let's see who's got the best offers. It's like, oh my God.
yeah, you want to be in that bidding war. It makes you feel real pretty.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're in the center of it. So Cloud9 is now in the scene. IDDQD is another big team. Probably will be announcing shortly who their new banner is going to be because everybody is interested. Like there's these huge teams. I think Tifa, there was a change between IDDQD and Reunited GG's rosters with their shot callers, I think.
So Tymo, who was a very good McCree player on IDDQD, recently this past week, he was kicked. I'm not sure if he was kicked or if he was left on his own, but in other words, he was removed. And then they replaced him with Mendo Kusai. I think that's how you say his name. But he
100%.
was on team. What team was it? Reunited GG. Yeah. And then Reunited GG went ahead and picked up Taimo. But Taimo was their shot caller, IDDQD's shot caller. And when he came on to be their shot caller, there was like that's when they started winning a lot of their tournaments and stuff. So it's a little kind of like head scratcher as to why they let him go. But either way, I'm sure they're still doing well. So we'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
see going forward.
It was a little perplexing though because IDDQD swapped, so now they have another solid shot caller, but now Reunited has arguably the top 2 McCree players in the world. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, now IDDQD has no McCree players, and Reunited's got 2 of them. Like, what just happened? But IDDQD, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them this next week because they did go undefeated in Gosu European Weekly last week. Like, they didn't drop a game, so it's
That
gonna.
was impressive.
Yeah, it like that. That's some Tempo Storm level stuff right there. Like for any of you guys who follow the Heroes of the Storm, I think they went 72-3 in their first 6 months of competitive play. So like IDDQD, that's something that I don't think Envious even really did. Like they won pretty much everything they played in, but I think there were some matches where they still dropped a game or 2.
Yeah.
So I mean IDDQD is dominating. And we're only going to be able to call them that for probably another week, if that. They're going to
Thank
get
God,
picked up.
it's just a weird name. Sorry.
Yeah, they're going to get picked up. The
Who doesn't
question
love
is-
saying acronyms that are just repetitive letters? Come on, that's a great time. Everybody loves that.
Just let me call you Liquid, please.
Yeah, let me call you Liquid. Let me call you CLG. This IDDDDQ whatever. Like, okay, cool. It's a mouthful of letters, but and then the other Gosu, as I said, European was IDDQD, went undefeated. In the NA scene, Cloud9, formerly Google Me, defeated etc. 3-0 to win that weekly, taking home the $360
Oh, did I not pull a name there?
prize pool. It's all right. You didn't update it, but
Oops.
yeah, Google Me now Cloud9 used to be. They were Google Me over the weekend. Now they're Cloud9. So some big names in the esports worlds. Competitive Overwatch. They're hovering. They're lurking. They're waiting to pounce. We already have Team Envious. Now we have Cloud9. Sorry NA, but I will be cheering for EU from now on. There's just so much stuff happening. Unfortunately, not everything is positive. There was a controversy that was posted to Reddit. There was a
One Hit Club.
there was a weekly tournament that was going on, run by One Hit Club.
And we covered this. It was their tournament where they had a prize pool, and they were also going to do if you won, you'd kind of charity of your choice, and they would get like $200.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started going around saying like, oh yeah, we're giving away like 100 copies of Overwatch. And so this went on for a few weeks, and then this Reddit post came out with a whole bunch of evidence and whatnot that apparently it's run by a bunch of people who were banned from CS:GO. Just like we've talked about this before, just about like former like ex CS:GO players who were banned. And just like it came out that they weren't giving people like the copies of Overwatch because like people like Ask Joshi have had giveaways for Overwatch Origins, and they send you like Battle.net gift cards, and One Hit Club's just been like, yeah, well, we're not gonna give it to you until the game's actually out because we can't gift you copies of Overwatch, which is understandable. But this entire controversy, where just like, yeah, every person on that leads our team or leads our organization has been permanently been banned from other games doing cheating and scamming. That thing is just like it calls into the credibility of these people, and they did try and go into defend themselves, and it basically just came out to either talking about their interactions with Molly from Team Husky, which I really won't go into. I'm not concerned about that section of it. But it basically came out to them saying just like, yeah, we'll get in touch with. What are you doing?
Nothing.
It basically came out to them saying like, yeah, when Overwatch comes out, we'll be sure to get in touch with the people who won, and if they're worried, they can email us now. And then it came out like, I've invested $9,000 of my money into this, and we want to see Overwatch grow, and da da da. It's like, I'm sure you do. But the fact that every single one of your like top of your organization are banned players from another game. Really, just me personally, I don't know about you guys. And I'll send it to you guys in a second. I don't really trust that, and I'm not comfortable with.
Well, a lot of the allegations and proof too relate to game fixing, and like that's a pretty big deal when we're talking a competitive like
Especially when it's a tournament, yeah. When you're running
Yeah,
tournaments
like-
and you've been caught game fixing, that's
not a good sign. That's not a good combo.
He was trying to say like, this is like 10 years ago when I was like a teenager, didn't know any better. But it's like, I mean, you're banned multiple times. It wasn't just once,
Yeah.
And not even that. It's like it's not just you; it's everyone on your staff. Multiple.
Well, the other
people
thing,
in
too,
your
is, like,
organization.
Game fixing isn't like an accidental thing that happens.
Yeah.
Like there is so much instigation and preparation and execution that goes into properly fixing a game. It's not like, oops, we paid one of the teams off. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad. It's bad.
Well, and
Like
unfortunately,
in my opinion, like you could be forgiven for cheating in my mind before you could for game fixing. Because like at least with cheating, it's like, well, I'm just bad and I was trying to get good and I just wanted to be
Yeah.
fancy. But with game fixing, it's just like, yeah, fuck it all. I just want the money. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's ridiculous, especially from like an organization perspective.
yeah, and unfortunately, it happens. It's inevitable now. It's almost like every esports title, something comes out. I mean, probably about 6 weeks ago, this huge thing dropped. There had been some stuff in StarCraft 2 behind the scenes. Some match fixing goings on, and then probably, arguably, the greatest player in the world, Life, who is the current WCS champion, the only two-time WCS champion. In the history of the WCS, at least in the last few years, came out and said, yep, he's been arrested for match fixing. So it's unfortunate that there's now this controversy in Overwatch. Nothing, let me just say, nothing has been confirmed. It's not like they're doing this in Overwatch, but they have that background. The community has kind of risen up against it. I know ZP's Hexagram, Fishsticks came out just condoning it. ZP says, I'm not going to cast for them. Ash Joshi says, I really like that. That's not something I really want to get wrapped up in. So people are kind of backing away from One Hit Club, and it's going to be really interesting to see, where the dominoes fall with this. But I mean, it was kind of like all of a sudden just popped up on Reddit and got upvoted immediately, shot to the top of, the hot, top posts in the subreddit. But, it's unfortunate that we kind of have this cloud. But hopefully it dissipates quickly. Hopefully it was just like this big thing and either it just blows over or they end up saying, yeah, this really was 10 years ago. We really have learned our lesson. That remains to be seen.
What I'm hoping is that they do pay out the people who they told won copies of Overwatch. And if you're the owner Hit Club, and sure, maybe you have invested $9,000 and that was your choice, and I appreciate that. Everyone appreciates people putting money into Overwatch and helping the scene grow. It's still an issue credibility. Whether it was actually 10 years ago, it's still something serious, especially when you're a tournament organization and you have a passive match fixing. It's still gonna keep. I'm sorry, Daniel keeps like typing Cloud9 into the show notes, and it's really distracting.
Yeah.
It's good for them to have transparency on the subject, especially since
true.
it's on a subject like game fixing. Like, if they were a player or something like that, yeah, you could, try to defend your reputation and be like, this is a personal attack and all that stuff. But, like, as an organization, as somebody that's running tournaments, like, you need to be clear on stuff like that. Because trying to hide it and being like, oh, all this stuff, that just makes it a million times worse.
Yeah.
Even then, trying to hide it's not really going to help you because they're just going to find you out. They found out the other people who were in Overwatch who had been banned before. You can't just move from game to game and hide it. Your past is going to follow you.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, whatever.
They kind of like after their post, the community I feel like they kind of appreciated it, and although it's like not all of our worries are like put to rest, there's a lot of people are coming from a place that's like, okay, well at least you talked to us, and if you prove yourself, maybe we'll forgive you, or maybe you'll be okay. So we'll see what happens.
That's my entire thing. If they pay their debts and they be respectable members and don't do anything shady, I'll be fine with them in the community. It's just for now, we'll see.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, other than that, though, I think that about wraps it up. Unless you guys have another topic that you want to cover, that's it for our what we have in our show notes. Other than Cloud9, baby.
I did want to ask Tifa one question though, because I know she more than any of us pays attention to competitive. Have you noticed any like meta shifts this week, or in scrims or anything like that? Just what stood out to you in the meta this week with the heroes?
Oh yeah. So actually, something that we didn't talk about in the patch notes was Zenyatta. His orbs don't stack anymore, which actually was a kind of like a direct um, response, I feel, to what happened last week in the competitive scene, because a lot of teams ran, not a lot, but we did see quite a bit of double Zenyatta. So people would stack their Discord orb or their Harmony on their like carry, like a Genji or like Reaper, McCree, and it was ridiculous. So they definitely nerfed that. So probably won't
Wow.
see as much double Zenyatta, although his orbs are still good on like two different people. That's
Yeah.
good too. So, but another thing is that after the 150 HP nerf, Lucio wasn't played as much. Like not like before, he was pretty much always pick, and then
Yeah.
this past weekend it was like 80%, still pretty high, but not as high. But it'll be interesting to see how he is this coming weekend after they made his HP 200 HP again. He'll probably come back a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Well,
then I think, sorry, go ahead.
when Minster was on the show, I mean, he pretty much said like, my main role is not necessarily to heal; it's like to be like damage and
Mm,
kind of like a midway. So we'll see how it goes with that, just because they did nerf his damage.
right.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I think the most interesting thing though was I was looking at a lot of people make tier lists. So there's like Uber, then like overused and fairly used, stuff like that. But then the overarching theme was that the game is getting more balanced because
Yeah.
a lot of outliers started to go back into like the middle ground. So now the only characters that are like not really played at all are like Bastion and May, and Zarya kind of wasn't used last week either. And then the only characters that was really used was like Zenyatta and McCree. But before it was like very little people were like in the range of being used like 50% of the time or 40 to 50%, and it was just a lot of outliers. So that's good. So Blizzard is getting something right, definitely.
Yeah. I know. As Josh, he tweeted, I think last night, someone asked him like, "Do you think there's any characters that are still overpowered?" And he's like, "Probably the only character I can think of is Reinhardt because he's still played in every game," and
Yeah.
that's understandable. His shield's just really good.
I think the Winston nerfs definitely like solidified Reinhardt's, necessity as a tank in every single game, because like Winston's shield is just like pathetic now.
The cooldown, it just hurts so much. It's not even. It's not.
Forever.
It's not the health of the shield. It's the fact that you get one shield every like 20 seconds
Yeah.
that makes it ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass with them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll remain to be seen if it shifts the competitive meta at all. But someone in chat said I'm expecting a bunch of Mays. Yeah, I think she's in a good place for the competitive meta to kind of have an entrance, especially since IDDQD doesn't have a McCree player now. Whatever. We'll see what happens. But you know, the changes in this patch, I don't think are going to hurt the competitive scene. The metas will shift slightly; they might change, but I think overall the game still, it's kind of, we're turning into broken records. It's still really well balanced. It's still really well off. It's not one of those where there's like this super overpowered character that you're going to see two or three of. Even when you're playing just in a casual, solo queue match. I mean, you're not going to see three Winstons. You're not going to see three Zenyatas or three Reinhardts. It feels really balanced still after this latest patch. So But I think that covers everything. I mean, we're pretty much right about the time we normally finish. If there's anything else you guys want to cover, feel free to throw it out now, and we'll kind of do a little bit of overtime. But I mean, if not, we'll go ahead and do our shout outs.
I think we're all good.
All right. Well, Azax, where can everybody find you at?
Yeah, plugs.
Oh boy. You can find me at Twitter at Azax, AZAX Gaming. And then, Tifa, where can people find you? Because you're the new person on the podcast.
Oh, well, you can find me on Twitter as well. TIFAPLS. Tifa, please. Yeah.
Tifa, please.
Yeah, I might start streaming too, but I don't know for sure yet because work is kind of crazy, so I can't really get a set schedule, but we'll see.
You can just stream from work. That's fine.
That's true,
Right.
I could.
Yeah. Cool. And then One Eye, people can find you. Your normal place is Twitter. Where else?
Yep. Twitter, same as always, over at NA1I. You can go ahead and message me over there if you want. And then also, last week, one of the other organizations I'm affiliated with, Multitap, started our weekly podcast, and we're doing those Wednesday nights. So if anybody in here is a fan of retro type stuff, that's something you can check out too. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter if that's something that interests you and get all the news there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, viewers and listeners, make sure you go ahead and check out Multitapped. Awesome new podcast. I'm a big fan of retro gaming. Like, I'm definitely going to have to try and tune in. Make sure if you're following the competitive scene, go out and cheer your lungs out for for Team Husky. And just go show your support. We got a cast member, co-host that is on that team, and I'll make sure that I go ahead and cheer my lungs out at my computer monitor. But as for me, you can find me same place as always, Veritech GG on Twitter, YouTube Gaming, or even just the regular YouTube site at /Veritech GG. That's my channel. I stream daily. I used to stream Overwatch every day, but since the division is out, I try and intermix that in. And we're probably, One Eye and I are going to do Heroes stream once a week. But the majority of my content is Overwatch. You'll see me there 3 or 4 hours a day. If I'm playing Overwatch, I'm streaming it. So yeah, you can find me there. And if there's nothing else, I am your host, Veritech, for my lovely co-hosts, Tifa, One Eye, and Azax. We will catch you next Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, right here, YouTube Gaming, exclusively on my channel, Veritech GG. So we will see you then.